Train under pressure, because pressure is not a problem. Pressure is the test. Pressure is the moment the truth comes out. Every man can look disciplined when life is easy. Every man can sound confident when nobody is watching. Every man can talk about strength when nothing is at stake. But when pressure arrives, the mask breaks. Your real character shows. Your real habits show. Your real discipline shows. Pressure is the fire that reveals what you are made of. And most men avoid pressure. They avoid deadlines. They avoid conflict. They avoid responsibility. They avoid hard training. They avoid situations where failure is possible, because pressure threatens ego. Pressure exposes weakness. So they stay in comfort. They stay in routines that never challenge them. They stay in safe work, safe conversations, safe relationships, safe habits. And then they wonder why they feel weak inside, because they never tested themselves. A man who never trains under pressure becomes fragile, and fragile men break when life gets real. Life will put pressure on you, whether you want it or not. Bills, health, family, work, loss, conflict, the weight of leadership. Pressure is guaranteed, so you have two choices. You can wait for pressure to crush you, or you can train under pressure until pressure becomes familiar. Familiarity creates calm. Calm creates control. Control creates power. That is what we are building. This is not about chasing stress like a fool. This is about becoming the kind of man who does not collapse when stress appears. The kind of man who does not panic. The kind of man who does not negotiate with weakness. The kind of man who can think clearly while his heart is beating hard. Because that is what men are built for. Men were forged in responsibility, in danger, in uncertainty. Men were made to stand steady when others shake. But if you live your life in comfort, your nervous system becomes soft. And then the smallest pressure feels like a crisis, a message you don't like, a hard conversation, a tight week financially, a bad night of sleep, a failure, a criticism, and you spiral. You become reactive, you become emotional, you become weak, not because you are doomed, because you are untrained. So today we train. We train under pressure on purpose, because voluntary pressure creates involuntary strength, and a man with strength is calm. A man with strength is reliable. A man with strength is dangerous in the right way. Now I will lay down principles, not motivational talk. Principles that build pressure-proof men. Principle 1. Pressure reveals what you have rehearsed. Under pressure, you do not rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. This is law. When the heart rate spikes, when the stakes feel real, when time is short, you do what you have practiced most. You do not become creative. You become automatic. That means your habits matter more than your intentions. In calm moments, you can choose. In pressure, you react. So if you want to win under pressure, you must rehearse winning. You must rehearse calm. You must rehearse execution. Daily. Principle 2. A soft life creates a fragile nervous system. If you never endure discomfort, your body interprets discomfort as danger. So pressure feels like death, and you panic. This is why men who avoid hard training often struggle with anxiety. Their system is not trained to handle intensity. It has never learned, I can survive this. So you must teach your nervous system that intensity is survivable. Hard training teaches that. Cold teaches that. Boredom teaches that. Silence teaches that. Responsibility teaches that. When you train under pressure, you train your nervous system to stay steady. Principle 3. Calm is not personality. Calm is skill. Some men think calm is genetics. No, calm is trained. Calm is built through exposure. If you put a man in pressure repeatedly, and he learns to breathe, focus, and execute, calm becomes his default. You can become that man. But you must stop avoiding pressure. You must stop living like comfort is safety. Comfort is false safety. Real safety is capability. Principle 4. Pressure is where men find self-respect. Self-respect is not a compliment. Self-respect is not confidence talk. Self-respect is earned when you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard. When you follow through under pressure, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes strength, and strength becomes presence. That is why men who crumble under pressure feel ashamed, because they know they betrayed themselves. So train under pressure to build self-respect, not to impress anyone, to be able to look at yourself and know you are reliable. Principle 5. You must seek controlled pressure, not chaos. There is a difference. Chaos destroys. Controlled pressure builds. Training under pressure does not mean burning out. It means intentionally adding difficulty so you adapt. It means training with time limits. It means training when you are tired sometimes. It means simulating stress, not living in it constantly. A warrior uses training to become prepared. He does not live in panic. He trains for panic so he can be calm when it matters. Principle 6. Time pressure exposes discipline. When there is time, men waste time. When time is short, discipline is forced. So you train time pressure deliberately. Set timers, short work blocks, hard deadlines, fast execution drills. You teach yourself to begin immediately. Because most men don't fail because they can't do the task. They fail because they delay. They negotiate. They stall. Time pressure kills negotiation. So use it as a tool. Principle 7. Physical pressure is the simplest training ground. If you want to train pressure, start with the body. Hard sets, short rest, endurance, rucking, sprints, sparring, cold exposure. These are honest teachers. They push the heart rate up. They create discomfort. They force you to breathe and stay composed. If you can stay calm under physical strain, you can stay calm under mental strain. Physical pressure is the bridge to mental toughness. Principle 8. Train decision-making when you are tired. This is important. Most men make good decisions when they feel good, but life doesn't always hit you when you feel good. Life hits you when you are tired, when you are stressed, when you are busy. So you train decision-making under fatigue. After training, when you are tired, you still clean your kitchen. You still prepare tomorrow. You still do the hard call. You still execute. This teaches the mind a powerful lesson. I can still act when I'm not at my best. That is pressure-proof discipline. Principle 9. Pressure reveals whether you have standards or moods. A man with standards does not change under pressure. He tightens. He becomes more precise. He returns to code. A man ruled by moods becomes chaotic under pressure. He becomes impulsive. He becomes reactive. He becomes loud. So if you want to be strong under pressure, you need standards, non-negotiables, rules you obey regardless of circumstances. Training, sleep boundaries, work blocks, no indulgence under stress, no escape behaviors. Pressure will test your standards. Standards will hold you. Principle 10. The mind panics when it has no plan. Panic is often confusion. Confusion is often lack of preparation, so the cure is planning. When pressure hits, you do not stare at the problem emotionally. You break it down. What is the mission? What is the next action? What is in my control? What is not? This is how warriors think. Under pressure, they simplify. They execute one step at a time. So you must practice this in daily life. When small problems happen, do not melt down. Do not complain. Identify the next action and do it. This trains your brain for bigger storms. Principle 11. Pressure is where discipline becomes identity. Anyone can do the right thing when it feels easy. Your identity is built when you do the right thing, when it feels hard. That is why pressure is precious. Pressure is where your character is carved. Each pressure moment is a chisel. If you respond with discipline, you carve strength. If you respond with escape, you carve weakness. So pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the sculptor. Principle 12. Train emotional pressure without reacting. Most men lose under pressure not because of the situation, but because of emotion, anger, fear, frustration, ego. They let emotion drive, so you train emotional control. How? By delaying reaction. When you get angry, you breathe and pause before you speak. When you feel insulted, you hold your posture and choose your words. When you feel fear, you focus on action. Emotion is not weakness. Being controlled by it is weakness. A disciplined man feels emotion, but does not obey it. Principle 13. Pressure makes you either sharper or louder. Weak men become louder under pressure. They talk more, they blame, they justify, they complain. Strong men become sharper. They speak less, they act more, they conserve energy. So ask yourself, under pressure, do you become loud or sharp? If you become loud, you are leaking energy. Train yourself to become sharp. Silence, breathing, action. Principle 14. Brotherhood matters under pressure. Pressure reveals who you are surrounded by. Weak men drag you down. They mock discipline. They tempt you. They encourage escape. Strong men hold you to standards. They call you out. They remind you of the code. So build a circle that respects pressure. A circle that respects discomfort. A circle that respects standards. If you can't find it, become it. But do not pretend your environment doesn't matter. Under pressure, you will become like the men around you. Principle 15. The man who trains under pressure becomes the man others rely on. This is leadership. Leadership is not talking. Leadership is reliability. When pressure hits a family, a team, a business, someone must stay calm. Someone must take command. Someone must think clearly. If you train under pressure, that someone becomes you. And that is what men are for. Not to be pampered, not to be coddled, to be pillars. Now, let's make it practical. What does training under pressure look like in real life? It looks like doing hard things when you don't feel like it. It looks like training with intensity, not comfort. It looks like setting timers and finishing tasks under time limits. It looks like waking up and executing the first hour without the phone. It looks like having a schedule and sticking to it even when stress rises. It looks like having a budget and following it even when you want relief spending. It looks like controlling appetite when you feel overwhelmed. Because when pressure hits, the appetite screams. Eat, scroll, drink, lust, escape. And if you obey, you weaken. So training under pressure is training the refusal. Refusal is strength. Now I will give you a simple pressure training protocol. This is a weekly structure you can apply immediately. 1. Physical pressure session, once or twice a week. A hard session where you push capacity, sprints, rock, high-intensity circuits, heavy carries, something that forces you to breathe under strain. 2. Time pressure work block, daily. Set a timer for 45 minutes. One task, no distractions, no wandering. When time ends, you assess and continue if needed. This builds focus and urgency. 3. Discomfort practice. Cold shower, silence, hunger, discipline. No phone hour, small daily pressure. 4. Conflict practice, weekly. One hard conversation you've avoided. One boundary, one truth spoken calmly. This trains social and emotional pressure. 5. Recovery discipline. Nightly. Sleep on time, because a tired man breaks under pressure. A rested man holds. This is training under pressure and training for pressure. Now I want to address something. Some men say, pressure makes me anxious. Good. That means the training is working. The anxiety is the nervous system learning. You are expanding capacity. But do not confuse discomfort with harm. Pressure is only harmful if it is chaotic and constant, with no recovery. Controlled pressure with recovery builds you. So be smart. Train hard, recover harder, sleep, eat clean, hydrate, then train again. That rhythm builds warriors. Now, listen. The reason most men fear pressure is because they are afraid of failing. They are afraid of looking weak. They are afraid of being exposed. But that fear is exactly why you must train. Because life will expose you anyway. Better to be exposed in training than exposed when your family needs you. Better to fail in practice than fail in crisis. So stop protecting your ego. Ego is fragile. Protect your competence. Competence is durable, and competence is built under pressure. Now I'll give you the final truth. Pressure is coming. If you are young, it is coming. If you are older, you know it is coming again. There will be a health scare, a financial storm, a relationship crisis, a loss, a responsibility you didn't ask for. Pressure will arrive like a wave, and in that moment, you will not have time to become strong. You will only have time to use what you have built. So build now. Train now. Train under pressure while the stakes are low, so you can hold when the stakes are high. That is wisdom. That is preparation. That is masculinity. So train under pressure. Stop living in comfort. Stop avoiding the test. Walk into the fire on purpose. Because the man who can stand in the fire becomes unshakable. And unshakable men build families, build businesses, build civilizations. Train under pressure until your default is calm. Until your hands don't shake when it matters. Until your mind stays clear when others panic. Until you become the kind of man who is not impressed by stress. Because you have lived there before in training. That is the warrior's code.